Hey, Momnah, how are you today?
Hi, Abbie. Hi, and perfectly all right. How about you?
Yeah, I'm well. I'm taking a day working from home today to get a bit of quiet in this arena for our chat today. So, yeah, I wanted to just start really by asking you before we dive like deep into like the self-discovery stuff and the journey that you've been on and some of the the feelings that you've had along the way and experiences that you've had. I wondered whether it would just be a good place to start if you want to just give us some background about yourself, maybe just some like pivotal moments in your life, where you're from, whatever you think just makes up like the first part of your story up until we're going to dive deeper into things like the divorce you experienced and then the journey from there. But what do we need to know about you from up to that point?
Okay, that's exciting to tell someone about your personality and your personal life. But I'm actually excited to um, uncover so many real facts and stories about myself. So, first of all, I'm a personal development coach and also a psychologist, and I belong from Kashmir, Pakistan. So I have been working as a psychologist for the past 3 years. But moving backwards, I was a girl living in a small town with no ambitions or any, big dreams. All I could focus on was to complete my degree and then get married and live a life as a housewife. Uh, and the reason was that I used to be extremely shy and underconfident, and I I used to prefer to stay in my comfort zone, and this was the major reason that I never planned my career or never wanted to do a job. Uh, and you can imagine that a girl who never wanted to do a job is now actually has become a psychologist. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so anyway, I was good in studies. I always wanted to study psychology because I had a lot of interest in studying human beings, their behavior, analyzing and observing their body languages and facial expression. I always had that interest, but it never intrigued me to, opt this as a profession or become a professional psychologist or anything. So as I always planned that okay, I'm going to complete my degree and then get married. So everything went the way I wanted. Um, and I was 23, I guess. Yeah, 23 years old when I got engaged. And then, in Islam, we had a nikah, which is technically a marriage, but the whole wedding function and things were supposed to happen after a year or so. Uh, but meanwhile, after our nikah, things got really messed up. Basically, we both persons we never had that mental compatibility. That was absent, and that was the major factor that we couldn't work out with each other.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of differences. Um, he used to live in a different country, and I'm in a different country, and there are a lot of other things, family background, mindset, and so on. As I said, that the major factor was mental incompatibility. So anyway, um, that was the time when I decided that things are not working out, and I, have to take a divorce. That was difficult because I was, as I said, that I was very shy. I was underconfident. I did not have guts to speak up for myself at any platform.
Mm.
So a girl like that, she suffers a lot when she has to take such a huge decision for herself and for the future. And I still, when I think about, that time period when I had to end one relation for which I have been dreaming since childhood. I never thought about anything else. So I was thinking what I'm going to do after that. I have no plans. I never thought about anything else except, becoming a wife and a mother or and things related to that. So that was the factor which actually turned my life literally to 180-degree angle. But
Mm,
now I realize that everything that happened actually made me stronger. Like, so
sure. Yeah,
it's a
gosh,
long
there's
story.
so
Like not summarize. It's hard to summarize it, concise it. But anyway, I hope.
yeah. No, you're doing really well. I've got this picture of you. Like I think that the point that you mentioned beforehand about being the shy girl and within your comfort zone, I think a lot of us can relate to that for sure. I definitely can. And yeah, it's only going on that journey that you sort of learn to find your voice. And sometimes we're perhaps forced to find it, because we feel like we've got no other option, and it's like the comfort zone is totally ripped away then at that point. I suppose, like, I have some experience of having friends in a relationship with a guy who was actually from Pakistan and of Muslim ideology as well. And I suppose from everything that I learned from that, about the people that I spent time with, and about how I suppose what I learned about the life in Pakistan and the societal expectations, which I know you've mentioned to me before, I can't imagine what it must have been like for you as a woman speaking up in that way and like taking on that decision. Like how was that for you as a female voice?
It was easier, to be honest. And the reason was that I had my family support. If
Mm,
I did not have my family support, it would have been really, really hard.
yeah.
Yeah. Everything was, whatever was happening, it was really, it was emotionally disturbing for me. It really disturbed me, my mental health, you can say. I used to stay very depressed. I mean, my parents could not obviously see me that way, and they were worried to send me far away from them. But still, I think family support always matters.
Mm,
Doesn't matter from which background you belong or which country you live in. You do need your family and your friends. If you said
yeah.
it makes your journey more easier, I would say.
Yeah, when you've got that portal, or that what am I looking for, like the arena to almost like feel safe to speak up about how you're feeling, then it definitely helps, right?
Yeah, though it wasn't easy. I mean, the first stage was that to tell my side of the story. If
Mm,
there's some issue has some issue, for example, aroused, and at that time, I mean, of course, it was difficult as I was extremely shy, and in front of elders, it was very hard for me to, speak up. Uh, but I had to. I mean, this was something inbuilt, I guess, because I mean, speaking up for yourself and speaking up for your rights is something I have always been taught by my parents, that you always have to stand for yourself and always take care for your rights. And if you see anything wrong, just say it. So I was, born and nurtured that way. So this was inbuilt. It's just that I don't know. Maybe I lived in overprotective environment for my life, and I am over pampered by my parents. That is why there is, in psychology we study that children whose parents are overprotective, such
Mm.
children, they don't build that confidence and they are shy. So that is true. That is completely true in my case. So, but as I said, that they still nurtured me to stand up for yourself. So this was something inbuilt, and when I got it, the situation came in my life and where I had to speak up. So I did. It was hard, but I did it because the mindset matters. And
Yeah.
I believe that if I'm not saying anything right now, and if I'm staying quiet and letting other people do wrong, then I'm not going to forgive myself later in the future, and I'm going to regret it very badly. And I
Yeah.
don't want to live my life with regrets.
So
Because
it's almost like,
motivating factor. Yeah, there's always a motivating factor that actually pushes you to leave the comfort zone and do something that is challenging. So yeah, first was this motivating factor, my mindset, and my the way I was brought up, and then second thing was my family support.
yeah, and it sounds like really a mixture of things that helped you to speak up, but sort of a driving factor is almost this thing within you that's just those things that we can't explain so much, but it's just, this is what I need to do, and that there's not really another option for me right now. It feels like a soul whisper almost.
True. There's always something inside, and you just have to understand it. And it happens sometimes. It happens with such incidents, such traumatic incidents, and sometimes some people take really long to understand those inner voices, I would say.
Yeah, and then I feel like though, once you start to listen, or you start to notice and learn how to identify it, you can almost kind of see how it's been trying to talk to you the whole time.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's now I mean, if I think about myself 6 years ago, I was not able to pick up my instincts, my intuitions. I was not able to understand them. I would tell you one thing, that when I was, just before, a few days before the function was going to happen, my instinct was saying that something is not right.
Okay.
Don't do it. Or maybe something is not right. I don't know. I don't exactly remember, but I just know that there was something, something was very uncomfortable, or I don't know. But obviously I was immature and I was not able to, pick up those instincts. But now I can totally relate that yes, this was not good.
That's what it was.
So I have actually worked on self-awareness a lot. I'm quite self-aware about my emotions and whatever is going in my head. Uh, Now with the meditation and things like that, I have practiced to pick up my intuitions, my gut feelings. Now, I mean, I think, yeah, I have learned a lot. So I often say this to my clients, that please do follow the meditation. They don't do it. I mean, it's hard, focusing on, on yourself, within yourself is not easy, but with the passage, with the practice and things, you do discover yourself.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I think whatever tools people discover to get to that voice, there's lots of different ways of doing it, but the benefits from finding it and practicing it and listening and learning is, yeah, it almost gives you this extra like guiding star in life. Like you don't actually perhaps feel so alone, or like, you have to do everything yourself, because you get a lot of the nudges of what to do from that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Now I know that you mentioned as well, um when we in the form that you filled out for this, that your faith is really important to you at the time of going through this journey. So I just wondered if you could tell us a little bit more about like the part that your faith played for you in this journey.
It has played a major role, because at that time I needed someone, as a mentor. I needed some guidance to handle with challenges, to handle those emotions and everything. Uh, Although I had my family and friend as my support system, and I used to talk to them, but still, there are certain things that you cannot share to the people you know. You really
Mm.
want to be a therapist or counselor, but I live in a very small city, and there is no such opportunity. And generally in Pakistan, still, psychologists and psychiatrists, people avoid referring them because of the fear of being stigmatized as psycho or mental or things like that. So
Mm.
obviously I did not have that support. So I was seeking around, like I was engaging in other activities, like different sports and reading books, this and that. But still, there was an urge to study the holy book, Quran, because this is the ultimate guidance, especially for, being a Muslim. I believe that it's an ultimate guidance to how to live a life
Mm.
um, efficiently and effectively. So I joined a class. There was a Quran class, and it was free. You just had to go and sit there and just as you go into mosques or churches, sit there, listen to the prayers, etc. So it was same. It's just that it was about reading Quran and understanding it in deeper level. So there were few
Yeah.
things that I discovered, which those things, I could resonate with them on a deeper level because of the situation I was going through. So
Mm.
I would like to share 2, 3 things that literally, helped me to tackle all those challenges and made me stronger. And I have strong faith till now. So one
Sure.
thing I read, there was that everything happens for a reason. There's always a purpose uh, behind everything. And I was like, okay, what should be the moment something bad is happening with me? What could be the positive outcome of this? It was
Yeah.
really, difficult to grasp at that moment. But then with the passage of time, I realized that thank God it happened, because I became stronger. I developed my, self-awareness. I focused on my career for the first time. I realized the importance of having, a financial freedom and things like that. And then at the same time, I was reading a book by Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning. I don't know if you have read it or not. It's
I
written
haven't
by,
heard that one.
yeah, it's really an amazing book, A Man's Search for Meaning. This book also talked about, finding meaning and purpose in life. So everything, it all just, completely made sense to me. that yes,
Mm.
I have to find a purpose, because after divorce and everything, as I said, that I never planned about anything else. So everything, come, it seemed like everything has come to an end. What I'm gonna do now? I mean, I only dreamt about, marriage and the married life.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna do? It seemed like everything has come to an end, and it is really depressing, because when you reach that point in your life when you really feel hopeless and you
Mm.
feel like your dreams are shattered and it's over now. That is really frightening. That feeling, that I don't want to experience that ever before. I don't even think that I will experience that ever again, because now I know that there is always a meaning. There's always a reason, whatever happens, and you just have to find a purpose in your life. Once you find it, then your life becomes amazing, because now you know, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. You're completely focused on that. You don't think about all the negative stuff, and because it leads to anxiety and depression and so on. So first thing that helped increasing my faith was that there is always a meaning behind everything, and your life has a purpose. You're not created useless and worthless. So
Yeah.
this is something that I think is important to uh, for everyone to understand and just remember forever.
I think
And
that's such an important one, just to hang on that one for a little bit, because I often now actually and it's finding the balance of saying this too soon, because I talk a lot about freedom and people following this path and purpose and things, and often when it's particularly around breakup, if it's my friends or clients or people who I know, and again, you have to really carefully sort of navigate this if it's the early days of the relationship, but there's something inside of me that gets super excited for the freedom that these people are about to experience, that they don't know it yet. You can't see it at the start, of course you can't, because all these expectations and dreams that you had just feel like it's shattered. But like you say, if you can, even if it's the first time something like this has happened, if you can look back maybe to different incidents in your life and see how actually they all worked out for a purpose, whether it's not necessarily, it doesn't always, everything feels positive that happened after that, but you either felt something that was really positive and great, or you learned a lesson, or you took on something that means what you don't want in the future, or something that means what you do want in the future. Like, it's all like this deeper self-discovery, right? Yeah.
True. In being coaches, we also always say to client that just learn the lesson. Take the lesson from your negative incidents or the experiences, and just move on with your life with those lessons. So that is important.
Yeah, amazing. And what was the next one you said about
Well, next one was that live in the present. This is
okay.
something that psychology says. This is something that every life coach says. That live in the present. Even in the book, it was clearly said that don't live in the past. So whatever happens is for the best. I mean, it always happens to help you to learn something.
Yeah.
And secondly, God forgives you, so you should also forgive yourself. We don't forgive ourselves. This is really, this is really something that touched my heart, because even if you take the right decision, still you think that maybe I was wrong, maybe I was the one who did something wrong, or why this happened to me, maybe I was wrong, maybe I did this. Even if you did something wrong, it's fine. I mean, it happens. You do make mistakes and just learn from them and move on. Don't live in the past because this is highly depressing. You're not going to, go back and erase your moments and start fresh. No, it's in the past. So leave it in the past and don't even live in the future because whatever is coming, whatever is going to happen, you don't know about it. You can plan few things, but
Yeah.
there's a limit. I mean, being human, you cannot plan everything. I mean, you don't even know if you're going to survive the next day. Maybe you die. Who knows?
Yeah.
Okay. Just focus on the present moment. Give your best, do your best, and leave the rest on destiny or whatever you say. So yeah, I mean, after divorce, I actually took admission in psychology as well. I did my master's in psychology after that. But meanwhile, I completed my study of Quran. So everything just resonated so well. It made sense to me. It was not. I mean, I'm just relating both things because maybe there will, audience. There would be many people who are not Muslims and they may find difficult, relate with whatever I'm saying. So I'm actually taking it with psychology and stuff like that. That everything is staying same. Everything is helping humans to, learn the tactics to, live your life and tackle challenges and just move on and don't take things so serious. Just learn from them and live in the present. That's it. Make your life easier. We humans have actually made our lives difficult for ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I think what is so beautiful about religion and faith is that there is so much common ground if we look for it between the different religions and ideologies and faiths that we might hold as individual. And those three things that you shared, I completely resonate with those things as lessons that I've been through, or things that I believe in my own life as well. And I wouldn't consider myself particularly religious, more spiritual beliefs, but it always fascinates me to see that just the themes that actually run through a lot of the different religions, that we think like, oh, we are so divided because there's so many different faiths that we follow, and they're so different or so radical,
Exactly.
or like, but actually not, right? When it comes down to it. And I also love that you could go on your individual journey and the place that you were in at that time and find some comfort or solace in reading the Quran and just taking the lessons that were supposed to serve you at that time,
Yeah.
and like take the parts that were really resonating with you, and those were the parts that you needed. And yeah, I just think that's really cool. I think it's a really cool way to use our faith, spirituality, religion, whatever we want to call it, to just go deeper on that journey, and also get some comfort at the same time.
Actually, seek comfort, we seek guidance. That's how these serve, because not everyone has the facility or opportunity to have a coach or a psychologist or somebody with whom they can discuss and share. There are many people who stay in their rooms locked all day. They don't talk to anyone.
Yeah.
For these people, they can seek guidance and support through books, be it religious books or the other self-development books. I mean, they all talk almost the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly it, I suppose. And like I say, it's just as important to I always say take what resonates. Like, whether I'm coaching you, whether you're reading a book, whether you're out just doing life, like take the messages that really resonate with you in that moment. You don't have to take everything you read as truth. You shouldn't take everything you read as truth, because you're going to run it through what feels right and true to you. But yeah, all of it, it's this like cool way to get guidance that actually, again, reflects you back to going within yourself. So it's like another one of those tools, like meditation, like the things that we're reading or the practices that we're doing. Yes, they might be things that come to us like from the external world, but really what they're doing is just guiding us back into what feels true and the lessons that we, you know, we need in any moment.
True. And I think when you study a book or anything, it helps you to take decisions. Sometimes you are stuck in a phase where you are confused what to do. So when you consult such things, books or anything, they do resonate with you. I mean, you often feel like, okay, it's written for me.
Yeah.
It has,
Yeah.
it has happened to you or not, but it does happen. When you read something, you feel like this is written for me. That's how much you resonate with it. And at the end, you actually come out as a stronger person with more clarity and focus, and you are able to make the right decision. This is what matters, I think, in our lives.
That's so true. And I've just got a new book actually, and I feel like I haven't really learned through books in quite a long time. It's more just been like going about life, doing some Googling research, maybe delving into things in different ways. But it kind of brings me on to this next topic as well, because I know you mentioned before about fear of loneliness. And I, for one, definitely resonate with that idea, and we can sort of share our different experiences on that. But I've just been guided back, like feel like I was guided to this book that, you know, it was a really quick decision just to buy it. I've seen it a lot throughout the years. It's actually by Brené Brown.
Okay.
And I've studied some of her work before on shame and vulnerability. And this one is called Braving the Wilderness, and it's about finding true belonging. And it's I've not read lots of it yet, but it's really about the power of being like true belonging is like a sense of self, and also you can, you know, find people externally that, you know, you feel like you belong around as well. But yeah, just like you said, some of these things just come up at the right time, and you're like, oh yes, this is exactly what I've been thinking about this, but I've not seen anyone else say it yet or speak it into words. So yeah, it feels like more guidance in that way. You know, if someone else is saying it, what you're thinking, it's like you feel less alone to start with.
Yeah, I think it's a common problem. It's not something very rare. Loneliness is something I think everyone experiences at one time or another in their lifetime. I'm not feeling lonely at the present, but yes, I do have a fear, or you can say this is one of my future concerns, that what if I end up being lonely, or what if I don't find a good person with whom I can share my life. Yeah, this is something that is bothering me time to time. Not
Yeah.
it's not really. I mean, it has not occupied my mind fully, but here in Pakistan, it's our culture is very much like focused on marriage and stuff, and there's also a huge pressure of your age, especially on females. So
Right.
this is something. It's one of the major problems that females suffer in this country, and Currently, the divorce rate has increased for the past few years. Now, yeah, there are many females who are nearly 30 or even 30 plus and 35, and they are not married and they are not able to find a good partner. So people do pressurize them. This is really major concern here in this country, especially.
Sure. Yeah, no, and I think I mean I think not to that extent that it is what you're experiencing there in Pakistan now, but again, some of those themes I still I see around me a lot, in terms of getting to a certain age and putting pressure on our relationships because we want to have the family, but are we getting too old because society is saying we're getting too old? We worry that our bodies are actually physically becoming too old to have children. And yeah, that fear, I know you mentioned, like the fear of settling for somebody who doesn't align, just to sort of have the rest of it, like the external stuff like ticked, but then inside you're sort of living again in that unalignment and that unease within yourself.
Yeah, it's I don't know, I believe that again, when I was reading Quran, it was clearly mentioned in that God has created you in pairs. Now, if and people here who believe, who are Muslims and believe in whatever God says, then I often ask them this question, that it's a paradox, right? Because, on one end, you say that if you're not going to settle down at a certain age, then you're going to end up alone. Or you find someone who is older than you, and you're going to, have to compromise it and live the life with a lot of compromises, because no one find a perfect man, or I know. But on the other hand, God has said that I have created you in pairs, and I have decided the day and time of death as well as marriage. And I observed, in my circle, that there were females who got engaged, but their marriage, because any reason, their marriage happened after 4 or 5 years. I mean, that means that yes, the time and the day and time and everything was decided to happen. So that is why it happened that way. I mean, whatever we plan, yes, we do plan certain things, but there are some of the things that are not in our control, that are predestined. And people have to understand that. And once you really believe that, you become really relaxed that, okay, everything will work out at the end. And you don't focus and waste your time and energy on, thinking all those things that are beyond your control. Why worry if you cannot control something? And if you can control something, then again, why worry? Just control it and make it better. And if you cannot make it better, then just go with the flow and leave the rest on your destiny, and see things definitely work out at the end. I'm living with this faith, but the society and cultural pressure is a lot to take in. I mean, on one hand, you have a lot of other stresses, like your financial conditions, your career, age, the tension of, okay, I don't know if I will have infertility issues beyond, certain age and things like that. And every girl goes through that pressure. There's no need for other people to increase that pressure day to day by, criticizing and asking questions that are completely personal and some irrelevant, I would say. These are, people should avoid asking such questions. In some cultures, people, there's no such indifference, but the culture where I belong in, the country where I live, there's a lot of, connectedness between people and families and friends. So they do ask questions. Some people now ask questions out of concern, obviously, but these questions disturb a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, it's difficult, right? And I think the place I've come to personally with that is it is difficult as well. And especially I'm sure that's going to happen a lot more in certain countries and cultures, for that particular issue or experience with, how society is and the culture. I think where I've got to with it is, you can't really stop people asking the questions. You can ask people, you can try and share your view, but as long as I think that the best way forward for me is just to keep strengthening that belief within you, so that then maybe they're going to ask the questions, but it doesn't hurt you so much, or it doesn't trigger you so much, because you're quite comfortable with your own journey, and you feel more confident in yourself that everything happens for a reason, and all of the other things that you live by. But yeah, it's not, like you say, it's not a simple journey when you have so many opinions flying at you as well, and especially when it's people close to you.
So true.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Momnah, thank you so much for sharing your stories, sharing your journey through difficult times, and everything that you've found to help you with that. Thank you for being so vulnerable and honest with us and sharing parts of yourself, but also like in the context of the culture that you've grown up with. And we touched on faith and religion, and I just love to connect with people in this way, and I am sure we will keep in touch. I'd love to hear more about your journey and how things continue for you as a coach. So yeah, is there just, I suppose, just one final question that I have asked previous guests is there something you could tell us that is quite present for you right now that you're still working on with yourself, that maybe still feels very vulnerable, that you could share with us at the moment?
Okay. I think I'm taking a long time to think about that.
It's okay.
I'm working to achieve my goal. Okay. Then there's always a fear that what if I don't achieve it? What if I'm struggling for something and I end up not getting it? Then you have to make plan B and then plan C. So this is something, there are certain things like I'm planning to go abroad for higher education, because it's something I really want to experience, and I'm really fond of studying and increasing my knowledge, and specifically studying abroad and really advanced education system, etc. So I'm struggling for that. But there is a concern or a fear that what if I don't get it? What if I'm struggling for something for so long, and what if I don't get it? So this is something that is obviously going to hurt for a while, but and I know and I'm confident that I'm going to handle it really well. But still, things do hurt. I cannot say that, okay, I'm a coach, I'm a psychologist, things cannot hurt me anymore. No, I'm a human first of all. So yeah. Things they do hurt. It's just that we are able to manage them well comparing to any other person who is not, a coach or a psychologist. So yeah, this is something that is currently going on in my life. Let's see where I end up.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think the reasons that you said there is exactly why I asked that question, and exactly why we're having these conversations as well. Is like, we're all still human. There is no pedestal for people. We all still have fears, and even if we've dealt with some of the fears, they come back at the next level. And
Yeah,
I think it really connects us just to share that, yeah, there's some real common themes like fear of failure, fear of loneliness. Some of these things still crop up for all of us. So thank you so much for being vulnerable again. And yeah, I can't wait to see the rest of your journey. So take care, and I will chat with you soon.
also I would like to say thank you. As I said, this is the first time I have ever spoken to anyone on such deeper level, especially
Yeah.
in this. I mean, I do talk to people, on a personal level, but not this way. But the reason I came here and talked to you and opened up so much, without thinking that what other people are gonna think about me or judge me or anything. I just want to, connect with people. I just
Mm,
wanted people to know that we all human beings have same problem. Doesn't matter which part of Earth we belong to, and we all survive. We all learn. We all grow. Yeah, this is all that matters. That how you learn and how you move on efficiently and effectively, and how you help each other. I think.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
So thank
and
you for asking me questions. It actually helped me, go into the flashbacks.
perfect. I'm so glad we all get things out of these experiences and these chats. And I think we've just demonstrated again that connecting with people and sharing our stories is really key for not just enjoying life, but getting deeper within our purpose and how we're here to help people. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye bye.
Okay. Take care. Bye bye.